Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really digging into something fundamental. It's about making connections, especially if you're learning English, how to introduce yourself.
Exactly. We've pulled together some great material linguistic studies,
Yeah.
um, cultural communication guides, even business etiquette stuff. We're looking at the words, sure, but also the structure and the culture behind it all.
Yeah, and our mission here is really to give you, the listener, a bit of a shortcut to feeling more confident. We want to pull out those key tips for introducing yourself well in English, no matter the situation.
Right, whether it's casual or super formal.
Exactly, from just hanging out to like a big job interview.
And one thing the sources stress right off the bat is that a good introduction is way more than just saying your name. It's about that whole first impression.
Okay.
And honestly, a huge chunk of that comes down to your tone, your body language,
Yeah.
the nonverbal signals you're sending.
Okay, let's get the absolute basics down first. We'll assume, everyone knows, hello, my name is Name, or maybe, hello, I'm Name.
The standard stuff, yeah.
Yeah. But where the sources get interesting is in the replies. What should you expect to hear back, and what's good to say yourself?
Well, nice to meet you is, your standard safe bet always works.
Right.
But sometimes you want to dial up the politeness a bit,
Yeah.
especially in more formal settings.
Yeah, like a business meeting.
Exactly. So you might hear or want to use something like, pleased to meet you, or even, it's a pleasure to meet you. It just shows a bit more formal respect.
Knowing those different levels seems key to not sounding, well, out of place.
It really is. Matching that tone is a big part of fluency.
Okay, so that's the verbal side. But you mentioned nonverbals are huge. An introduction often happens face-to-face, right?
Absolutely. And that physical interaction can honestly say a lot before you even finish your sentence.
So what are we talking about here?
Well, the handshake is a big one in many English-speaking cultures. The sources highlight this again and again.
Okay, the handshake. I know there are, rules for this.
There are, yeah. The sources are pretty specific. Firm, but not crushing. That's the sweet spot.
Firm but not crushing. Why is that specific feel so important? What does it signal?
Well, think of it as like a quick cultural signal. It shows respect, shows you're engaged. Too weak, the dreaded dead fish handshake
Oh, yeah.
can make you seem maybe uninterested or unsure. Too strong, and, well, you might come across as aggressive or just unaware.
Okay, so it's a balance, finding that middle ground.
Exactly. A physical way to say, I'm here, I'm present, I respect this interaction.
Got it. And the other big one, I think, especially for learners, is eye contact. That can feel tricky sometimes.
It can, but it's really fundamental in these cultures, making eye contact signals, confidence and sincerity, trustworthiness even.
So avoiding eye contact could be seen negatively.
It often is, yeah. The
Yeah.
sources point out it can be misinterpreted as you being evasive, maybe dishonest, or just not interested. Holding that respectful gaze shows you're engaged, you're listening.
Okay, so getting those nonverbals right, the handshake, the eye contact, it's really crucial for just navigating things smoothly.
Absolutely vital. It helps you feel and appear much more at ease.
Right. So let's bring this into different situations because how you introduce yourself at a party is totally different from, say, a job interview, right? The formality changes everything.
Totally. The language, the tone, it all shifts. Think about a casual setting, maybe a friend's barbecue.
Okay.
You'd use contractions, simpler words, maybe something like, hey, I'm Tom, nice to meet you. It's relaxed, approachable.
Makes sense. Easygoing.
But then you walk into that formal meeting or a networking event,
Right. The pressure's on.
and you need to step up the language. No, hey, you use full sentences, maybe more formal vocabulary.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Instead of, hey, you'd say good morning or good afternoon.
Mm.
And instead of just, I'm Tom, you might say, my name's Tom Williamson.
Okay.
And instead of nice to meet you, maybe it's a pleasure to meet you, or even it's a pleasure to make your acquaintance if it's really formal.
Make your acquaintance. That sounds very formal.
It is, and you wouldn't use it casually. But knowing it exists helps you recognize and respond appropriately if someone uses it with you.
Okay, but practically speaking, for someone just trying not to mess up, isn't sticking with nice to meet you always the safest bet? Why learn the fancy stuff?
That's a fair point. Nice to meet you is generally safe,
Mm.
but knowing the difference lets you match the other person.
Okay. So if they're being formal, you can respond in kind.
Exactly. It shows you understand the situation. You've got that cultural competence. It's what the sources say marks a more advanced communicator. You're showing you get the nuances.
Right. It's about more than just getting the words out. It's about fitting in socially.
Precisely.
Okay. So let's talk structure. After the hello, my name is part, what else should you be ready to share? It's not just a greeting, right? It's supposed to lead somewhere.
Definitely. It's the launch pad. The sources highlight maybe 3 key things you should probably touch on pretty quickly.
Okay, what's first?
First, usually something about what you do. Your job, your role, maybe what you're studying. It gives context.
Okay, the what do you do question often comes up fast. For someone in business, say, how do you explain your job quickly without getting bogged down in details?
Good question. The trick is often to focus on the outcome or the purpose of your job, not just the job title.
So instead of, I'm a senior data analyst.
Right. You might say something like, I help our team understand market trends, or my work involves finding ways to make our logistics more efficient.
Ah, I see. That sounds more engaging. It gives the other person something to grab onto.
Exactly. It invites a follow-up question, makes it easier to start a real conversation.
Smart. Okay, so what's the second thing after your job or role?
Second is maybe sharing a little bit about your interests, just a tiny bit.
Okay.
The sources are really clear here. Don't overshare. Keep it brief, relevant if possible.
Like a hobby or something.
Yeah, maybe a hobby. Or you can mention you just got back from a trip, or you're reading an interesting book, just something small to find common ground. You're opening a door, not giving your life story.
Right, keep it light. Got it. And the third area.
The third one is actually about introducing other people. This comes up all the time, and it can be awkward if you don't know the convention.
Oh yeah, that can be tricky. Who do you introduce first?
It often depends on status or age, especially in formal settings. The general rule is you introduce the person considered junior, or of lower status, to the person who is senior, or of higher status.
Okay, so you say the senior person's name first.
Kind of. You address the senior person, then introduce the junior person to them. Like, Mr. Smith, senior person, I'd like you to meet Jane Doe, junior person. Or, Professor Jones, this is my colleague Ben Carter. You say the name of the person being introduced second.
Okay. Mr. Smith, meet Jane. Not Jane, meet Mr. Smith.
In formal context, yes, that's the standard way. It shows respect for the hierarchy. Getting it wrong can just make things feel a bit off, maybe disorganized.
That's actually super helpful, especially for professional networking. Okay, so we've covered introducing yourself, introducing others, and now how do you actually turn that intro into a conversation? It can't just stop there.
Right, that's the crucial next step. It's about making it a two-way street. You need to show you were listening, and now you're interested in them.
Active listening, right.
Absolutely. You heard their name, maybe their job title. Now you hand the conversational ball back to them. Ask a question. Show genuine interest.
Okay, so beyond just how are you, which can be a bit of a dead end, what are some good follow-up questions? Especially in, say, a professional context.
Well, if they told you their role, you could ask something like, oh, that sounds interesting. What project are you working on right now? Or maybe, what got you interested in that field?
Questions that invite a bit more detail?
Exactly. Or if you know something about their company, like, I saw your company launched X recently. How's that going? It shows you've done your homework, or at least you're paying attention.
Nice. And what about more casual settings, like that party we mentioned earlier?
Use the context. Look around, ask things like, so how do you know the host? Or what brings you to this event? Even, have you tried the dip? It's amazing.
Haha, yeah, keep it light and relevant.
Right. Simple questions like, what's kept you busy lately? Or working on anything exciting can work well too. The main goal is just to shift the focus back to them and get them talking. Keep the ball rolling.
So pulling this all together for you, the listener, if you combine these verbal strategies, knowing the right phrases, with the nonverbal stuff we talked about, like the handshake and eye contact,
Then add in those good follow-up questions.
you really move beyond just saying hello. You're actually starting to connect, and that hopefully makes you feel way more confident in pretty much any English-speaking situation.
Yeah, that's the core idea,
Yeah.
really. The sources all point to this blend. You need the clear words, the right phrases for the situation, but you also need that cultural fluency. The handshake, the eye contact, picking the right tone, knowing what info to share. It all works
It's
together.
like knowing the grammar and knowing the etiquette.
Exactly. One without the other isn't quite enough for a truly successful interaction.
So we've looked at this from two angles today. The sort of academic structure, the rules of formality.
And the practical side, the real-world application, the feeling of the interaction.
Right. Our aim is always to make this stuff feel intuitive by showing you why these things matter culturally.
Hopefully giving you tools you can actually use.
So a final thought for you listening. Think about which approach helps you remember this best. Is it understanding the structural rules, like who to introduce first? Or is it focusing on the practical side, like how to make good eye contact or choose the right follow-up question?
Yeah, which lens makes it stick?
When you have your next chance to introduce yourself, maybe focus consciously on whichever approach, the structure or the practical application feels more helpful for you. See what works.
Good advice.
Okay, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Get out there, make that connection, try out these tips, and turn your next introduction into a great conversation.